I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads. I'm going to Forster. We're going to go through the Saturday, June the 16th races at Hastings. We do have 7 races on tap. We do have a stakes race today. We do have the Strawberry Morn $50,000 event going a mile on the 16th. First chance for the older mares to go long, and that'll be in race number 6 today. But good card and some nice little races.
Yeah, they put a good
competitive
card
dashes.
together. Nice to see our older horses going long now, finally.
Finally, it's good.
So we got the older girls today, the older boys. That race will be on
The
Sunday.
Longden tomorrow.
Yep, the John Longden tomorrow. So nice to see these races starting to stretch out a little bit. That's where it gets really interesting. Let's get right into it. First race is a $16,000 claimant event, non-3, going 6.5 for older colts and geldings. Field of 6 in here. I went to the Rob Maben runner in here, Master Ewan. I thought a good race last time. I just think there's enough pace in here, like good as they get. I think it's going to be tough, but I think he gets pressured. He's going to be near the lead. Mustachio can go. Rob's other horse, Great Blake, is going to be up near the lead, and I think it's going to set up for a closer. I look for Master Ewan under Dennis Arrojo to get up and hopefully land in the winner's circle. Good as they get. Looks like the horse to beat in here. A good second behind Access this and this race last time. Finished ahead of Master Ewan, but I'm hoping that they're a little quicker up front, like I said, and that can set it up for him. And I threw in Sanoir. He's making his first race of the meet, but Barb Heads is going great guns right now, and he does need to go long. That's why he skipped the sprinting events earlier, and he could be picking up a piece of it. I'm not crazy about him in the fact that it's his first race running against horses that have had races, but I could see him definitely closing and getting a piece of it. I went 3, 4, and 2.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it could be a little tough for Sanoir just being his first race of the year, and these other horses,
Everybody else is running
races. It really matters. Those horses are razor sharp right now, where he's just coming in off the layoff. I went to the one Great Blake. He's kind of an all or nothing horse. He either wins or he might run last, because pretty much looking at his form, that's what happens. If he doesn't get things his own way, he panics or something, and he ends up running well back in a race. And he hasn't liked his last 2 starts at all, and he's finished poorly. But he is down for 16,000. He's got to go to those tougher allowance races. And I thought maybe he can sneak off to the front and get left alone, but we'll see. Aaron Greider will once again ride for Craig McPherson, so I think the horse is pretty alive. I agree with the 4, good as they get. That's your horse to beat. Good run-up effort last time. To a pretty good horse, Access This. So came up here for Peter Redekop and Phil Hall and really scorched a field of non-316s. Good as they get, looks live, and I put the 2 Sanoir. I agree for 3rd. Didn't see a ton of speed in here, but I guess of the 2 Maben runners, Arrojo had his choice of both, and he ends up on Master Ewan, probably the liver of the 2. But I went 1, 4, and 2 in the Saturday opener on to race number 2, $4,000 claimers. Non-winners at 3 lifetime. This is for actually open. It has 6 fillies and mare, or 6 colts and geldings and 1 mare mini fridge in the race. But I went to the 3 Stone Ridge Ruler. I thought a better than looked race last time, was out there battling, and I thought it was down on the inside too, which wasn't the place to be. You'll note a lot of these races, if you're paying attention and want to do your due diligence, a lot of horses that were down on the inside on the last couple of weeks have finished poorly.
It's tough,
and they're better than their form.
Yeah, it's tough down there.
Yeah, and they are better than their form shows. And I think Stone Ridge Ruler was one of those. The 2-horse Musaka Chef had no excuses last time. Perfect trip. Got to the outside. Actually ran by Act Up and got outgamed to the wire. This horse can win, but just has had every opportunity last time. It's just tough. I can see the horse winning, but I don't want to take even money on Musaka Chef.
Yeah, he's going to be.
Yeah,
he's going to
be a short price because he just got to beat a neck. And I put the 5 Torneador. Every week he seems to run, but he's running well, and he's back in sprinting. He didn't want to route.
Yeah.
He should have won last time, but he just didn't want to go long. He's back in a better distance. I went 3-2-5.
I don't have much to add. I got the same horses. I did put Musaka Chef on top. I think Act Up's a pretty decent horse that, like you said, it set up well for him. He got by him. Act Up come and got him. But I think, if Act Up's in here, I think he's a really heavy favorite. Act Up's a pretty tough little horse down at this level. So I put Musaka Chef on top. Of Torneador, as you mentioned, always shows he's not a win machine, but he always hits the board. He always runs second or third. He's always ATM. Right there. Exactly. He's always getting a check. Enrique Gonzalez back aboard him, of course. Torneador in second, and I have your top pick, Stone Ridge Ruler, in the 3rd place. He gets Dennis Arrojo. 2, 5, and 3 for me in the 2nd. Excuse me. On to the 3rd, Maiden 4 for fillies and mares. Going 6.5 furlongs, field of 8. I went with another Maben horse. Well, his barn's hot. He's batting 27% right now. Cody's Honor. Ran decent last time. That was in an 8,000 against Velociraptor, Max in Motion. Fireball Flirt, stablemate, finished just ahead of it. Both races have been an improvement. Got a 28 bar in his first, 35 in her second race. She's in form coming into this race. And instead of an 8, now she's in for 4. I think Cody's Honor can get the job done today. I put her on top of Midnight Market. Haven't really... This horse, I don't think, got anything out of his first race, out of the Glen Todd barn. Got something out of that last race. I was in the 8 with Maury Girl. Pressed the pace on the lead. They didn't set blazing fractions, but he was headed the whole way. And now in for 4. You know, I think she got more out of that and couldn't move forward off of that race. So I put her in second. And I put a first-time starter out of the Mark Cloutier barn, Dreams Work. Mark Cloutier making all the right moves right now. His barn's going very good. And Amadeo Perez, who's back. He served a suspension for a couple days last weekend. He's back, and he's riding as good as anybody right now. And him and Mark team up at 24% right now.
They're a good tandem.
They are a good tandem. 8, 4, and 5 for me in the third.
Yeah, I agree with the 8, Cody's Honor. I thought both of those races are good enough to beat this field. I didn't see a whole lot else in here that could maybe... That's the horse for me. Has speed. At least the filly will get it into a good position early. There's lots to like about Cody's Honor, and she might not be the favorite. We'll see. But I like Cody's Honor to win it. I put the 3-horse Holly of Spring, a firster for Anita Bolton, owned by Paul Caravetta. It's this daughter of Numani. Might be, hasn't found the toughest spot to debut, and the works aren't blazing, but still I respect the connections and Enrique Gonzalez rides. So I thought I'd give this horse a shot. Take a look at her in the paddock and see how she looks. And I put the 5-horse, another firster, Dreams Work for Mark Cloutier. As you mentioned, Amadeo Perez aboard, and this one wouldn't need to be a real rocket to win in here. So. But that one definitely deserves some respect as well. I went 8, 3, and 5 in the third race. On to the fourth race, an optional third. Good race here, mile 16. Older horses going along here, an optional 35. I was pretty impressed with the 2 Jaminati. He's actually turned in 2 very good efforts. The one sprinting, you can give him an excuse because there was no pace on at all, and he still ran incredible. And then just got beat by his stablemate, Calgary Caper, who's a pretty accomplished horse, and we'll see him tomorrow in the Johnny Longden 6000. He'll be one of the major forces in that race. But Jaminati looks good in his spot in a 35 grander, and I think he's the horse to beat. But the 5-horse Trill Point for Manny Ortiz, owner, and Cindy Krasner, trainer. This one was claimed for 20 grand from Wade Rarick down in Phoenix, and this horse has run some good races in Edmonton last year and has some speed, and there's not a lot of it in this race, and I just thought this horse could be a real pace presence, and Amadeo Perez will take the mount. I put the 1-horse Don't Hold Me Back. Going to give him another shot. He was off for about 5 weeks going into that last race, and he's another one got down on the inside on a track that you didn't want to be down on the inside, and ran not a bad 5th, as 5ths go. He only beat 1 horse, but still he wasn't disgraced by Calgary Caper and Jaminati. And I just thought he was on the wrong part of the racetrack. And, riders know where to be, but unfortunately other riders know where to push you down, and it's like you get into the bog, and it was a little more tiring down on the inside on that May 26th day. But I thought he was worth another look. I went 2, 5, and 1.
I agree with Jaminati, your top pick. This horse was running very good down in Phoenix. His first start over this oval, as you mentioned, was sprinting 6.5, and nothing to run into. Everything you touched on there. Came back with a big effort, just gets beat ahead by Calgary Caper. Jaminati for me is definitely the horse to beat in here. I put Sergeant Rick in the second spot of the John Snow barn. I love the way he progressed from his first start to his second start. He got a race under him. Going 6.5, which is not really what he wants to do. Came back. He ran third in that race, just behind Jaminati. He got beat a few lengths by Jaminati in that race. But he's really a horse going the right way. Went from a 59 to a 76 buyer. Just, the improvement from his first race to his second race, if he takes another little step forward, he's one that could be dangerous in here. Aaron Greider rides for John Snow. And I agree, Trill Point. I put Trill Point in there. We've seen these horses from Phoenix.
They've done well.
Yeah, you're kind of the higher end kind of horses. You're 16, 25 kind of horses that are coming up from Phoenix are really tough here. Like Jaminati, like Blue Law. We've seen a bunch of them be very tough here this year. I didn't want to leave them off my ticket, especially seeing Amadeo Perez take the call. 2, 4, 5 for me in the fourth. On to the fifth, Maiden 50 for 3 and up. Colts and Geldings going 1 mile and a 16th. I've picked Panhandle. I think probably every race of his career. I'm going to do him a favor today. I'm going to leave him for a second. I'm going to go with Chef. A horse with not quite as much form on him. This will be his 5th start of the Dino Condolinos barn. His start at 2 was nothing. At least he got over there, got around. His first start this year in a maiden special weight, okay. Went down to a maiden 25, just got beat in neck by Mustachio. Came up, made a very good account of himself in a maiden special weight going long last time. So he's gone this distance. He ran good behind Lucky Ending, an older horse. Again, beat a couple lengths. He was three-quarters of a length, clear of the third horse, Ace of Diamonds. Dino Catalinos and Amadeo Perez have teamed up for some nice maiden special weight type wins this year. Chef's my top pick. Panhandle is just a hard luck horse. He finds a way to get
trouble
beat
all the time.
He's always in trouble. I mean, you look at beat a neck. You know, the Fort Mac race, he was in behind horse.
Yeah,
he's just one of these horses.
He has enough speed to get into position. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough speed to get out of the
trouble.
spot where he is to get in and push out and make room to get a lane to run in. And he's just just an unlucky. He just seems like he's always in a spot.
And then he comes flying and just misses. So he'll probably win today because I put him in the second spot. But I mean, he's very live. Of course, live connections. He's a horse to beat in here. But I'm going to try. I think Panhandle's probably going to be even money.
Oh yeah,
6-5. Chef, you might get 2-1, maybe 3-1 on. So I'm going to try him. And I threw in Stonecarver for the third spot. This is a horse they thought pretty highly of. Again, I like his progression from his first race to his second race. His first start of his life, 6.5. Then his second start of his life, he goes mile 16th. Now he's got that long race under him. I can see him moving forward in his second long race. He's a son of Birdstone. He does not want to sprint at all. A much improved race last time, going a mile 16th. I can see him taking another step forward. Could be dangerous. 4, 8, and 7 for me.
Yeah, I went to Panhandle. I don't love the horse. I won't be
You're gonna get him
singling him. I'm not going to be singling
stopped.
him because I don't know if he can go long at all. I have no idea.
Well, you did run long in the Ascot last time.
He ran a Wise Market. Yeah. But I mean, you know, as we've talked about, he does find trouble, and another 9-horse field. He gets in these big fields, so he needs to get in a nice 5-horse
Maybe
field.
go to mile 16th. They spread out a little bit. He might not get.
Anyway, I think he's definitely on paper. You're right. He's a horse to beat, and you did well to take Chef. I got him in for second. I think he can win the race. Ran a good race, ran second. Aaron Greider rides, but he has to ride Panhandle because he is the contract rider for Glenn Todd. So it wasn't like there was a decision there for Aaron Greider which one was better. And I should have probably put the 9. I put the 5 Ace of Diamonds in for third, but I should have put Buck in there because the 9-horse would be the little bit of a long shot you should toss in.
Yeah,
he was one that was on the wrong part of the racetrack.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking about that, May 26th and June 2nd races. Anything those 2 weekends, the inside was really tough, and this horse was down on the inside. And his prior race by another Guinness, the chances are in Ace of Diamonds was very good, but he was just on the wrong part of the racetrack last time, and he really tired, and that's what a lot of horses have done when they're on. I hate to be redundant, but I mean, when horses have been on the rail, they've just caved in the last quarter of a mile, and that was the case for Buck. He gets on the outside,
he's a live
in light,
he's going to be a price.
You definitely I would want him in my pick 4s, pick 6s, or anything. Anyway, I went 8, 4, and 5 in race number 5 onto the 6th race. This is the Strawberry Morn, $50,000 filly and mare stakes event going a mile and a 16th. I went to the 7, Touching Promise. I thought a very encouraging return to the races. She'd been off of a year and 8 days heading into her first start this year. And
a year and 8 days? You did your math on
well, it's not hard. May 13th to May 21st. A year and 8 days. And just got touched at a second by Curlish Figure. And I thought, considering she did put a little chase on Allerford Bay, not a whole lot, the opening part, but still put a pretty good chase on her, and it cost her second. And still, I thought the race served her a good purpose, and she has come back to work well. She wants to route. All of her money has been earned routing. Yeah. Look at Hastings. She's made piles of money. Only one. That's amazing. Only 1 for 11 at the distance. I would have bet against that.
Yeah.
She's won a lot of her races at mile and 8. She can route.
Mile and 8 is ridiculous. I know, but I would still think that.
It would better than that. She ran into Arabella's Muse, and she's run into a lot of nice mares throughout her career. Yeah. Going back farther, a couple of Glenn's horses were really good. Summer Songer. Like she's 8 years old. She's run into a lot of really nice fillies and mares over the years. But this, I think, is it's come up not tough. No Alfred Bay. This race has come up pretty even for everyone. I think anyone has a shot in here, and it's wide open. But I like Touching Promise over the 2 Top Quality for Blaine Wright and Dave Mowat back in town. He's raced horses here in the past. Dave Mowat, not often, but Seattle-based gentleman. Good second at Golden Gate, 137 and 4. That's a good time for the mile there. And I thought
those optional 62 down there are tough.
they're tough.
Too.
They're stakes races because they don't have a big stakes program in Northern California. So they basically have a lot of allowance races and a lot of high claimers, and that's where the stakes horses run. And so those races come up like a stake. And works are good since the race. And Blaine, obviously, as we've seen, brings up some pretty nice horses. So this horse is live, and I put the 5 Yukon Bell in the mix for third. I thought she ran well, chasing the fractions. Was a little wide on the turn. She wants to route. She's not the greatest sprint. She's won sprinting, but against lesser horses. But her best races, her best races are going along. She just missed in the Oaks last year. She just got nailed out of a couple from being second in the Ballerina. She ran tough on the head in that day. So putting away Citizen Kitty, one of Seattle's best fillies, and cost her second, third, and ended up fourth. But she's live in here too. I went 7, 2, and 5.
I agree with Touch and Promise. I really like Touch and Promise in here. The fact that, like you say, she's been off a year, comes back, runs a huge race. I thought a really big race for a filly that's been off that long. It's come back with a nice work off of that 48. That was the best of 64 back on June 10th. She looks like her old self, and now, as we mentioned, the most shocking stat of the day is that she's won for.
Yeah, no, I can't believe that either. I know, just weird how it is.
Yeah, I mean, because this is totally.
And it was her one. She beat Majestic Presence. That's her win. That's her only win going along in the distaff on April 1st in 2016.
I would have lost money on that bet.
Yeah, I know. It's saying how many races has she won going on 16th?
Yeah, I would have guessed
3 or 4 or 5. Or...
I would have guessed it would have been like 11 and 4 or something like that. But to be respected today, and she's got her old friend Amadeo Perez. He sticks with her. He had other options in here. He sticks with Touch and Promise. She should be tough. I agree, top quality. Everything Blaine Wright's bringing up here right now is firing. He's had 4 starts here this meet, all in stakes, 2 wins, 2 seconds. For the reasons Mike touched on, those optional.
She only got beat a length too in the BC Oaks last year behind Dazzling Dawn and
exactly.
She was right in place.
Yeah,
she ran well.
Exactly. No, she's tough. Top quality with Aaron Grider aboard in the second spot, and I threw in Curlish Fager, who was right in the mix last time with Touch and Promise. That's another one. She hadn't run in a long time either. She hadn't run since last July, so she needed the race as well, and her races are better going long too. So she's another one that gets to stretch her legs and could be dangerous in here in a pretty tough event to pick one. I went 7, 2, and 6 in the Strawberry Morning. On the nightcap, nice allowance race for 3-year-olds and up, going 6.5 furlongs. I went to the one Spring in Alberta, just got caught by Sunset Drive last time, did all the heavy lifting, came from just off the pace, got the lead, earlier on in the race, and fought the whole way, just battled the whole way, and Sunset Drive got the better of him. He did go off as a favorite that day. Amadeo Perez sticks with. Spring in Alberta, I think, is very tough. I got Spring in Alberta on top of Next Otis. This one's pretty, wins an allowance race, goes into the River Rock, tries to go with Wise Market, who's a pretty tough horse, and fades a little bit. Only gets beat 3 lengths behind Wise Market, a Grossi Fleet. Tough race in the River Rock. Now in this allowance race, he should be heard from in here for trainer Mark Cluche. Next Otis in second, and I put Always Sunny, who was the one just behind Spring in Alberta in that last allowance race. He's come back with some works, and Barb Head, going very good. Scott Williams rides. 1-4-3 for me.
Yeah, I got the same 3 horses. I put Always Sunny on top. Just think that he'll have a little more speed. He does have speed, probably a little more than Spring in Alberta, and I think he can get clear of that one early. And last time got forced out, and Spring in Alberta got the jump on him, and he's got to be ahead of Spring in Alberta if he's going to beat him. And I went 3-1, and I agree with Next Otis, the 3-year-old. It's always tough for 3-year-olds to run against older horses, but he's the best 3-year-old of the runs coming. There's 3 of them in here, actually, the 4, 5, and 6-year-old 3-year-olds. But I went 3-1 and 4 in the Saturday finale. That'll do it for our analysis. Next up on screen, a quick recap of our picks on the June the 16th program. Back in race number 1, I went to the 1, Great Blake, and I try and get him back in the winner's circle, 1, 4, and 2. Race number 2, I went to the 3, Stone Ridge Ruler, over the 2, Musaka Chef, and the 5, Torneador. Race number 3, I went to the 8, Cody's Honor, 8-3-5. Race number 4, and started the pick 4, late pick 4. Went to the 2, Jam and Addy, going to go 2, 5, and 1. Race number 5, I went to the 8, Panhandle, over the 4, Chef, and the 5, Ace of Diamonds. But that's a tough dash. I don't really think there's any key in there. The 6th race, the feature, the Strawberry Morning, went to the 7, Touching Promise, going to go 7, 2, and 5. And then race number 7, I went to the 3, Always Sunny, going to go 3, 1, and 4.
On to my picks. Back in the first, I went to the 3, Master Ewan, over the 4 and the 2. In the second, I did go to number 2, Musaka Chef, over the 5 and the 3. In the third, I like the 8, Cody's Honor, over the 4 and the 5. In the fourth, I agree with Mike, number 2, Jam and Natty looks very tough in this spot over the 4 and the 5. In the fifth, the maiden special weight, I went to the 4. Dino Conolinos' Chef over the 8 and the 7. In the 6th, the Strawberry Morn, I agree with Mike on the exactor, actually. Number 7, Touching Promise over the 2, Top Quality. I threw in the 6, Curlish Figure for 3rd. And in the nightcap, I went to the 1, Spring in Alberta over the 4 and the 3.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Our next live card will be Sunday, June the 17th.
Father's Day.
Father's Day, Pop's Day. 150 first post on both afternoons. 150 will be. Sea to Sky Pick 6 was 6,400 going into last weekend's program. I don't have the number for you yet, but could check that out on your television screens when you come to Hastings to see where that's sitting at to start in race number 2 on the Saturday program. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.
I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do